W's and L's, the weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't. Lil B, the bass god. Lil B, the bass god. If you remember back in college, I used to play Lil B from every now and then.
Timothee Chalamet.
It seemed like it pissed you off, every now and then when I would play some Lil B because you guys weren't fucking with it. No, but I kind of fucked with Lil B in general. And I just like the fact that Timothee Chalamet is out here crediting Lil B with his acting success. So not only this, but then, the whole KD curse and all that, it just adds to the lore of Lil B, the bass god. And I'm still here for that in 2024.
How does this work? How did Lil B start his acting career?
So Timothee, is it really Timothee?
Timothee Chalamet.
He went to a Lil B speech at NYU. And that is where Lil B knighted him and then kissed his hand. And Timothee is crediting that as the reason why he is such a success in acting.
I hate this. I hate all of it.
There's actually video of it too, if I can find that.
Shout out to Timothee. It sounds like he's a big Lil B fan. I'm sure that was a big deal for him.
I'm going to find it just so you can see it.
Knighting him and kissing his hand is insane. Why would you?
Because he's all about positivity, bro. Let it be.
Man, thank God he got rich and became an actor, huh? Because he would have been on here.
Lil B, the bass guy, still blessing careers.
What did I just watch?
You just watched Timothy getting knighted and then his hand getting kissed by the bass guy.
That's a small world, man. Small world. Jesus.
Oh, man. You got to love that the lore is still going strong. All these years later. So happy about that.
Yep.
Anyway. Lil B doesn't know he's talking to... No. Wow. All right.
That's how I get.
Is that on my dubs? I think that's all my dubs. Oh, no. One last dub. So I was watching a RDC stream recently. Funny how RDC just keeps getting brought up in our live streams, but whatever. And
don't cut off me.
Yikes. They were playing beer pong. And before I get into anything, how do you feel about beer pong? How do you feel about your skills in beer pong?
How do I feel about beer pong? You know who I am.
How do you feel about your skills in beer pong?
You know who I am.
Now that you're years removed from playing it.
You know who I am.
Okay. Should we just go on and challenge RDC live right now? I want to play
a game of beer pong.
Yes.
Niggas not fucking with me.
I want. Look, I know they have their little Dream Con in Houston. I think it is. I want to play them in beer pong and beat them.
We got to go to Houston to play beer pong. You know
what? We go for the whole event.
Yeah, sure. I was about to say it sounds like a time.
I think it's in July.
What you got to sign up? You got to qualify. They got qualifying matches.
No, they don't have. No, I'm saying that they have their event. They don't have a beer pong event yet, but I'm saying we are going to challenge them as an event at DreamCon. It's going to be like a Logan Paul, Mike Tyson match of beer pong.
So, like, we just gonna walk up on them and challenge them, or are we gonna try to get the word out before? How are we going about this?
Well, I'm officially challenging them right now. The challenge has started now. Now they got to respond. Yes,
the gauntlet has been thrown. Okay,
the winner has to win something. We gotta get a sponsor in on this or something, but we'll figure that out.
Is this not still the quintessential drinking game? What do people do now to get drunk?
Drink.
Just drink. Just sit down and drink. We don't play fun games to get drunk anymore.
Beer pong, flip cup, none of that. That's not a thing. Anyway, they were playing on their stream. They were playing with like Berlizzi and some other people. And I'm like, look, I feel like I can beat all of y'all. So what's up? Challenge has been thrown out.
You know, at Pins, they got the trash can size beer pong, and they got the like the actual balls you can shoot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty dope.
That is kind of cool. I don't like how they have I don't like duck pin bowling. It just feels different.
Sure. Oh no, yeah. You talking about at Pins, like the lanes of that? Yeah, no, I don't like that. Like real bowling.
I mean, I'm not good at regular bowling either, but I'm also not good at duck pin bowling because it feels even weirder. Anyway, RDC World, wherever you at, challenge has been thrown out. We are going to destroy you at beer pong. And if you want it to be at DreamCon, it can be at DreamCon. Whatever, I don't care. What up?
What these niggas
I just had to make sure. I had to make sure his skills was where they should be for beer pong. That's all. I just want to make sure.
I'm always tight. You ain't got to worry about me.
All right, bet. All right, on to my L's.
Shooter. I shoot gummy bears in the water bottles and shit.
Yeah, no, we definitely have to get on our I understand it now. Lethal shooter.
Now I understand you.
Yeah. Yep. All right, they play with some funky rules too, from what I've seen. We gotta get the rules down too, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, on to my L's. I am not a huge proponent. Well, first of all, everybody knows I'm a sneakerhead. I think I've said it many times on the podcast before. So I'm not a proponent of fake counterfeit items, right? So like fake sneakers, fake clothes, fake Supreme or fake Gucci or fake whatever. So you can understand my disdain when I found out that Walmart is behind the latest fake item craze. Walmart is out here selling Birkins.
Fake Birkin bags?
Fake Birkin bags for like $78 to $100. It looks like a Birkin. As bad as I want to give them an L for it, hey, fellas, if y'all can get y'all lady a Birkin for $78 to $100 and they don't realize the difference, I advocate for that.
You want to hear a hot take?
Yes.
I think more fashion parity should be a thing. It should be allowed. I don't think that luxury brands should be able to rule over the consuming public the way that they do. I don't think that they should be able to have a product that they make for pennies on the dollar, slap a luxury label on it, and make it worth more than everything else because people are willing to pay for it. I think if there were more Birkin-esque bags in circulation, then having a authentic Birkin would mean something to only people who appreciate the brand of Birkin actually, and not just buying it for social status or what have you. Right? Like nice. Brands being able to do that to the consuming public is not necessarily a good thing, turning it into like a social hierarchy that drives people to purchase their brand. More let's fuck you mentally to sell you something instead of just giving you what you want or need anyways. This is kind of my take. I don't think, like, first of all, there's no article of clothing that should cost thousands of dollars, period. But if it does, it should be because it has some sort of intrinsic value. This was threaded with a million strands of boar hair from Africa or some shit like that. Yeah, that shit should be $1,000 shirt. A t-shirt that has Supreme on it, I will wipe my ass with that $1,000 t-shirt.
These are pre-owned Birkin bags on Walmart that are $25,000 to $30,000.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Pre-owned.
Shouldn't be a thing. Again, if something is that expensive, clothing, it should have some extra value to it. It was owned by a famous person. It was at some historical spot. The material that they used is hard to procure. I should not be getting $3 worth of leather, 4 ounces worth of iron for the buckles and shit like that. Some shimmer, a couple different little other design cues, and now it's a $3,000 bag. That's absolutely insane.
I wanted to get your thoughts on this because my brother brought this up in a conversation we were having about.
I think it's phenomenal.
About NIL and all this stuff. And apparently this is the Milwaukee Bucks owner, or former Milwaukee Bucks owner, Mark Lazary, discussing buying college football teams.
Opportunity. And I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a number of schools selling their teams. And the reason for that,
to whom?
To folks like us. Like, we're bidding on a couple teams, I can't tell you, but in essence, what we would do is buy 51% of the team. And, I think if you look at a bunch of these programs, they're making 50, 100 million off of their football program, off of their basketball program. So it's a way for universities, by the way, because under federal law, they've got to offer scholarships in all these different sports. So they've got to update their facilities. So one of the things they want to do is sort of say, okay, great. My football program makes 100 million. We'll sell 50%. That's 50 million. Do a 10 multiple on that, 15 multiple. That's 500, 750 million. That'll come.
Okay, it kind of cuts off there. I don't know why.
I get what he's saying. I feel like that only works for private institutions, though. You can't sell a public institution.
That's what I was thinking.
You can't sell a state university.
You literally can't sell a team.
So like
or an athletic department.
You can sell a team technically, right? They can sell their naming rights, they can sell their merchandising rights. They can, so in other words, let's say Ohio State was down, and I'm only using this because of proximity, so we can do this quickly. Let's say Ohio State they're insolvent. They don't have money to keep the football program running. They can go to Les Wexner and Limited Brand and be like, we'll sell you half the program if you will get us back to better facilities, get us better uniforms, this, that, and third, just reinvigorate the program. And then all of a sudden, instead of the Ohio State Buckeyes, they're the Limited Brand Ohio State Buckeyes. And that name adjustment alone is enough to make Limited millions, billions probably over a period of time.
So it's just naming rights and merch rights and things like that.
Right. Like, do I think that they'll be making personnel decisions or things like that? Well, number one, that depends on whether or not they sell them 51% or they stay the majority owner.
Then they'd be a majority owner, yeah.
But I don't see why they would want that type of control, because you could tank the investment as fast as you bought it by making decisions you're not qualified to make. I don't know what that looks like, but I definitely see it being a thing with smaller programs, maybe MAC schools, Mountain West. Before you start talking about Big Ten and SEC.
Somebody mentioned Cal, like California.
I don't know. Maybe Cal. I don't see anything out of the Big Ten or SEC doing this right away. And the reason is that some of these Big Ten schools are the biggest businesses in their respective area. So who's going to buy them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're in Ames, Iowa, or Des Moines, Iowa, who the hell's buying the Hawkeye football program? The hospital? The hospital? Like, who has enough cachet and liquid funds to buy the biggest cash cow in the state, which is the Hawkeyes football? But then what is their benefit in doing that? What's the advantage to them buying a college football team? I guess I understand if you are a locally stationed, a domestic company in that area that can have an intrinsic value to being connected towards the football team. But if you're like a national brand, what is JP Morgan doing buying football teams? What are they going to do with that? You know, what is Google going to do buying parts of USC?
That'd be a little insane. But then, even all the same, it's still going to make this whole thing even crazier, unnecessarily so.
Yeah, no. It's until they unionize and we get some sort of framework that everybody has to work under in terms of roster building, in terms of payments, in terms of, you know, executing and absolving contracts. Right? Nobody is sticking to the terms that they're promising each other on both sides, players and coaches. So it's the Wild Wild West. It is a proverbial crapshoot.
Got you. Yep. No, that's all I had.
Are you ready for the God list?
The God list? Okay. Yeah. I'm here for it. What up?
All right. Let's give out a few dubs to start out here. First one is going out to the GOAT, to the greatest of all time. Giving one out to my boy Michael Jeffrey Jordan, opening up his third clinic in Wilmington, North Carolina. This is a clinic that is going to be serving underinsured or uninsured individuals in Wilmington. That is, again, the third such that he has opened up there in Wilmington. This one is due to a $10 million donation that he gave to the Department of Health down there. So not too often.
Perfect timing for it.
Yeah. I mean, no, absolutely. It's not too often we get to shout stuff out like this about, you know, celebrities. So piggybacking on the Drake stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yep, another positive take. Where we at here? Oh, Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is getting a dub for me. Bruno Mars was the performing talent at the wedding of Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez. But that is not why he's getting the dub for me. He's getting the dub for me because you would think, oh, well, maybe take a discount. You do a big celebrity's wedding. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to cash them out. Run it up. It's payola on everybody. I got gambling debts, baby. Yeah. Charged Jennifer and Alex Rodriguez $5 million for that performance. $5 million. Imagine you paid $5 million for Bruno Mars and y'all didn't stay married for 5 years.
No, that's crazy.
Ooh. Ouch. I don't care how much money you got. That hurts. That hurts. But shout out to Bruno Mars for the payola, for running that shit up. Where we at? Oh, R.I.P. Greg Gumbel again. Was this
R.I.P. OG Mako too?
R.I.P. OG Mako. All right. My first L. We got.
I don't know about the Rick Ross album.
We need a new Silk Sonic album on the fly. You're gonna have to bring them niggas out of their drug stupor. And you're gonna have to ask Bruno Mars handlers whether or not he allowed to come out and make an album while he doing his slave wages in Vegas.
I'm sure they'll add that to his.
Is Bruno allowed to come out and make music?
Yeah.
You got him over there breaking bricks in the casino trying to get off his gambling debts.
Yikes.
All right. L list. Oh, yeah. This is going to be my favorite one. My favorite one. So, you guys know that we embrace debate here. We do not run from criticisms, and we do not stifle people's speech when they have criticisms for the platform, ever, for any reason. And racism will probably be the only reason. But outside of that, there is no reason for us to hide people's replies. And that means for the well-meaning people, people who show us love, people who support, and for people who don't have so much love or support to show, maybe just have a criticism to levy. Always
that's all cap, because I do it for Michigan fans too.
No, it's cool. It's dope. I appreciate it. However, one thing that really gets under my skin, being in the position that we are, right? Having this platform, we make takes, they go on wax, they stay, right? I say this today, and no matter what information changes in the next coming weeks, months, years, no matter what I say on it after that point for the next coming months, years, or whatever have you, right? What I say today is on wax. And so I have to deal with it. Whenever somebody wants to bring this back up to show what I said, I'll either have to defend it or I'll have to explain why I said what I said at the time. But my shit is on wax, right? What gets to me is people will sometimes, and it's usually one or two, will hop in your comments and they will levy a criticism. They will say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They'll say, you need to do more research. They'll say, you missed the context. They'll say, oh, you're wrong. Okay, fine. Cool. Everybody's entitled to that, right? Tell me why I'm wrong. What context did I miss? What information was missing? Last week, we did Dubs and Nails, and our headline story was the Fat Joe situation on the Math Hoffa podcast. Most of the comments seem to go right along with what was asserted in the segment. But there was one individual who needed his opinion heard. Now, doesn't do much to defend this opinion at all. Doesn't really back it up with anything. Actually conducts himself like an adolescent, like a child, most of the way through. But I entertained it for as long as I could. And I wanted to bring it to you all, because clearly this was this individual's point in the first place with all of this. was to get this level of attention. So I just wanted to help him, maybe grow his channel, grow his platform, whatever it is he was trying to attempt by engaging in this. I just wanted to help him out. So let's help him out. Let's talk to Mr. Russell Abbott. What you got going on?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm not showing the screen. That's weird that it would
stop doing stuff in the background, bro.
I was trying to bring
it up.
Yeah.
You got it up? Okay, yeah, I appreciate it.
It was an advertisement. I was surprised that you heard that. But anyway.
There we go, Mr. Abbott. This
Shout
was
out
a
to
terrible take on the Fat Joe topic. Research is not a clip. This was all out of context. Do better, please. Okay, so cool, right? I think he's completely off base. I don't know what research or context he felt like was missing out of the video. I encourage you all to go back and watch it. You let me know if I missed anything. But in any case, I'll engage honestly, at least to start. You see my first reply. Research? Fine, I'll buy it. Please provide the additional context that was missing from this discussion. Okay. Mr. Abbott goes along. Okay, let's start with what are Puerto Ricans? Okay. I don't think that context was missing. Did we not talk about Puerto Ricans in the segment when we were talking about Fat Joe? Mm-hmm. Did we not talk about specifically how it wouldn't be appropriate for me to talk about specific strifes or disagreements that happen within the Puerto Rican community because I'm not Puerto Rican? Didn't that come up? Did we not talk about Fat Joe's heritage of him being Puerto Rican, of him being a Caucasian Puerto Rican, and why that doesn't necessarily jive with the whole I'm allowed to say the N-word thing for me? I thought we broke that down pretty well. But let's give him his just due and keep reading. Fat Joe is Puerto Rican. Yes, again, was stated several times in the video. He talked about FBA, not all African Americans. Okay, clearly another misunderstanding from one person's side here. Don't know if you know this, but the designation of FBA or Foundational Black Americans are African Americans. You attempted to set me straight on who he was talking to, not realizing that you are identifying the same group of people. Again, this is somebody who came in the comments loud and strong. This was a terrible take on Fat Joe. Research is not a clip. This is out of context. Do better. And within one sentence, we've gotten already 2 mistakes. Talked extensively about Puerto Ricans. I know Fat Joe's Puerto Rican. It was mentioned in the video. And you don't know that foundational Black Americans are African Americans. Oh, but we're not done. We're not done. Let's keep going. You just need to do more research because that was it. That was all he had to provide. That was the context. That was it. Puerto Ricans and Fat Joe's Puerto Rican. That was the additional context that was missing that made that happen. Stop being so emotional. A little knowledge for you. If you have a chance to go to any part of Africa in your life, they are going to call you American, not African. Now, if that's the case, Josh, what exactly would be the problem with FBA as a designation? What exactly does that have to do with anything that we're talking about? What does that have to do with Fat Joe and hip hop and him calling us broke niggas? What does Africans calling me an African have to do with anything?
They would call us Americans.
Americans. But what does that have to do with anything? Why is he mentioning that? Is this more additional context that I'm missing?
Well, if they would call us Americans, that's the same thing that Black Americans are doing.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Firstly, when I asked you to add additional context, I was expecting you to mention something that wasn't mentioned in the video. So the 2 major things that you wanted to point out was that Fat Joe was Puerto Rican, and that he talked about FBA and not Black Americans. That's the weird emoji face. Fat Joe being Puerto Rican, which was specifically mentioned in the segment several times, does not disqualify him from being a Caucasian Puerto Rican, as Puerto Rican is not a race. Also, doesn't give him license to speak to Black people the way he does. Now let's talk about FBA. I don't know why you and others have such a hard time dealing with this, but the acronym FBA may be new, but the group of people it is used to describe are not. You can't separate FBA from African Americans because they are two designations for the same group. Yeah. If you're talking about people being toxic online, and that's where I think all of this is stemming from, is a beef with Tariq Nasheed and a lot of his followers, then say that. But to say foundational Black Americans, you are talking about a community, the people that were naturalized here. You know, the group of people that you so eloquently excluded from being African. So it's like on one side, it's like, oh, you're not really African. But on another side, let me tell you what designations fit your community. Okay. Fat Joe overstepped. Yeah, where am I? Fat Joe overstepped and got too comfortable. You don't know the difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality. You could have set this one out. It's not going the way you thought. And then we got a great response. Absolutely devastating response. I got completely owned. I'm going to do what you did to the context of the entire interview. Are you ready? If so, if yes, you sure? I'm not reading all of that like you didn't watch the entire interview. Man, I'm so glad that we deal with adults on this channel so often. So glad. We get the occasional 5-year-old, but we mostly deal with adults. We don't have to keep going. We don't have to keep going. If you are going to levy a criticism, if you're going to say something that is going against what it is, the opinions that we have, again, that's all well and good. You have just as much as right to comment as I do to post what I post. To comment a derogatory comment, not wanting to back it up, not really having much to say about it, I don't have the energy for it. So for 2025, I just wanted to set the playing field so everybody understands. If you have a lackluster opinion that's negative, I'm going to call you out about it. I'm just going to. If you're going to be loud and wrong, then let's be loud and wrong on the platform together. Let's get loud. Let me show you how wrong you actually are. You have an opinion, you can have an opinion. If you scroll up, there's another comment about a fella who I was debating about the history of hip hop. It was less about Fat Joe. Back out of this one real fast. What was homeboy's name? Not House Divided. Universe 1413.
What was it?
Universe 1413. It should have been one of the newer ones. Go change it to the newer, whatever, the newest. There you go. There he is. L take. Fat Joe was never co-opted the culture. I disagree. But see, this discourse goes a lot better. He says what he says. I say what I say. There's no name calling. There's no derogatory statements. There's no, oh, you don't do this. You don't know that. You didn't research this. There's a actual thoughtful conversation going on here. Right. And while I don't agree with everything Universe 1413 says, while I feel like I adequately responded, I don't need to belittle you. I don't need to talk down to you. But that other individual over there, Mr. Russell Abbott, yeah, no, he needed to be talked down to.
Why? Because Fat Joe was there during the creation of hip hop?
No, that's what this person was saying. Mr. Russell over there is loud. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then when you attempt to tell him and prove to him that he doesn't know what he's talking about, he acts like a kid. Get out of the comments, fam. No one made you say this bullshit over here. I didn't make you comment this stuff. I didn't make you say this. So now that you're getting read the Riot Act, how about you just go about your business? If you don't want to go back and forth, why did you post this? Why did you come on somebody else's platform and post this comment if you didn't want to go back and forth? If you didn't want to, quote unquote, debate?
What do you think about Busta Rhymes now, according to DeMarcus Vaughn?
I would put him right about the same place as I put Fat Joe. Well, yeah, shout out to the comment bullies. It's always good to bring you up to the forefront. Alabama is getting an L for me now. Now, in honor of Michigan's head-to-head matchup with Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl, I thought I'd bring you guys some news from their glorious state. Do you know what the 13th Amendment is, Josh?
It abolished slavery in the United States.
Abolished slavery. What was the exception to that abolishment? Actually, if you stop trying to search for it and just think for a moment, you probably figure it out.
Those who have been duly convicted.
Okay. So yes, prisoners are allowed basically to be used as slaves, indentured servants. They're allowed to be worked for little to no wages, sometimes against their will. This is actually a story that followed Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, for a little while. If you recall, we were talking about those firefighters, the people who were fighting the forest fires, being inmates, being prisoners out there fighting forest fires, and how some of them died. Well, that was an initiative that started under Kamala Harris while she was AG out there. That was something that she pushed for. But it's also happening in Alabama now. And Alabama is taking it a step further. They say, oh, no, you ain't going to be just fighting natural disasters. No. We have work shortages everywhere. Our fast food places, our cleaning services, bus drivers.
But they're not going to get paid for it.
Oh, they get paid. They get paid. They get paid, I believe it is 60 cents on the dollar. 40% goes to the,
I knew you were going to say
prison or the government. They have to pay a traveling fee, right? Because they get picked up and dropped off to their work details every day. If they're
out of the 60 cents,
out of the 60 cents that they take home, yes, they have to pay a transportation fee and a cleaning fee for their work uniforms.
So they get nothing.
Now, again, I told you all of this mostly is against their will. So if they choose not to do it, they just go to solitary confinement. They, get privileges taken away, things of that nature. Right? So, yeah, real life slaves. Shout out to Alabama. I know that's it's very easy to find yourself just being accepting of that because of the class of people that we're talking about. But I feel like wrong is wrong. I don't feel like breaking the law is a license to turn you into a slave, because we already know who that's gonna affect most. Let's see here.
Maybe, but I'm sick, and I'm gonna use that excuse for that one.
Killer Mike would be so disappointed in you about what? What'd you do? Oh, not knowing about the indentured servitude thing. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed, but it's okay.
I'm sick. I wasn't thinking straight.
That's not a thing. That is the completion of the God list.
Yikes.
Give us your thoughts in the comment prompt below of your dubs and L's. Tell us what you thought about ours. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and come back next Sunday for another segment.